Hey, it's the Figure Hunter, and I am going to introduce a new video series over the next 3 weeks entitled Whoop versus the Open. We just got our Open announcement. We just realized we're going to have to do some new movement of wall walks and what that actually means, and double unders. And so we're all really excited to get it. And so I thought over the next 3 weeks, we're going to do a review once a week, just a video short, to test and track the Whoop versus each of the Open workouts. And we're going to do so compared to an H10 chest strap when connected to a Garmin, when connected to a Polar, as well as the Polar Verity Sense, which is an armband. So I'm going to put the Whoop to the test because it has recently been announced that the Whoop is the official wearable of CrossFit. And so as we all know, CrossFit in the peaks and the spikes that you're having in your heart rate or any high intensity interval training, you have to have accurate heart rate analysis to properly assess the damage it did on your body. And so that begs the question, can the Whoop keep up with the Open, the most basic sort of fundamental CrossFit community workouts on the planet? If it can't keep up with that, then who knows if it can keep up with a full CrossFit training regimen. Many devices now have sleep, they have recovery, they have heart rate variability analytics, all which Whoop does alongside the workout analysis and the strain from the workout. But can it keep up with the CrossFit workout is the primary and most essential question. So we're going to test it over the next 3 weeks in 3 different positions on the arm. So for week 1, we're going to do 1 open workout, the obvious open workout, and we're going to do 5 other CrossFit workouts, testing it on the optical, the optical heart rate sensor on the wrist. The second week, we're going to do 1 open workout and 5 other workouts on the forearm, and we're going to come back with results at the end of every week. How did it do on the wrist compared to a chest strap as well as the Verity Sense? And then in the third week, we're going to track it on the bicep to compare it again across all the other fronts in 1 open workout and 5 other workouts. So I also have 2 workouts that I've done on it so far. So we're going to look at the results and see, even in the beginning, even out of the gate, how does it stack up against some of the other tracking devices, some of the other ecosystems on the planet. So with that, let's dive in to Whoop versus the Open, the preliminary show, and just looking at 2 basic workouts, getting ready for Open 21.1. Okay, so I'm going to develop an accurate way of tracking this because you can't really break into Whoop's data, which is unfortunate. So we're just going to look at the workout. Just know in the first part, that was a series of every minute on the minute double under practice. And like I said, on the second workout, it was thrusters, dumbbell snatches, double unders, strict handstand push-ups, and chest to bars, and it was rounds for time. So you look in the first part and you see that sort of peak, so maybe that's the double unders. The second part was where the workout, but look at the average down below. So 130 heart rate average, 171 max heart rate. Now let's look at the chest strap. 151 beats per minute average versus 130 at the bottom. Max heart rate 182 versus 171. That's just not as much of a big deal, but the average heart rate having a 20-point significant difference is a failure in most heart rate analytics. If you look at the picture of it, so you can see just peaking out and maxing out towards the end as I was trying to finish out with the time that I wanted in the end of the last round. Again, look at them side by side. So you see the Whoop chest, the Polar. Look at even the lines. If you were to take that sort of second half where I was really burning out, and you were to sort of slide it to the left and try to guesstimate the number there, it's about 135. Whereas here, you're right at 165 to 170 for the average of that second half. So total failure, here it is compared to the Verity Sense. So the Verity Sense actually picked up that whole second half just fine and actually had some of the same statistics. Second workout was today, again, starting with an EMOM of double unders just for practice. Thank God, because 21.1 is now here. And some super heavy EMOM of 3-rep thrusters, as well as a bunch of stuff towards the tail end. So you can see that Whoop actually captured it in the beginning and then in the middle and in the end with each separate section. Let's look at the stats though on the bottom. Average heart rate of 148, max of 172. Here, average heart rate of 149, max of 177. So it didn't really pick up the ultra peak, but it did look relatively accurate. Again, there's the graph, and then there's the graph for Polar. Let's look at them a little bit more closely. So again, the Whoop graph, the Polar graph. So it is somewhat tracking the second workout. So I would say this without being able to get the data, because you can't actually get the data off the Whoop app. It looks like this is like a B plus, A minus accuracy. And then the first workout was really more like an F, because it just didn't track at all the most intense parts, which is the most important. So let's come back together and talk about it. So what do we see in the first workouts? The very first workout I did with this, it was a series of thrusters and dumbbell snatches, double unders, strict handstand push-ups, and chest to bars. So just a series of rounds for time. It completely missed the mark. It completely missed it. My heart rate was averaging in the 160 to 170 at the end, and it was bringing me, the Whoop had me on the 145, the average heart rate at 130 on the Whoop versus a 150. That is a major off the mark. And so I'm going to have to develop a way to analyze it, because unfortunately Whoop doesn't give you heart rate zones. You can't get into the data. You can't look at where your heart rate was at different periods of time. What do we see in the second workout? In the second workout, it actually held its own. It did okay. It actually came in at some of the same averages, some of the same sort of basic estimates. So we're going to have to develop how we're going to break down the analytical side. So right now, it got an F and an A minus, or an F and a B plus. And so right now, it's a C minus. Doesn't compare with the Polar Verity Sense, the Garmin with the chest strap, the Polar with the chest strap. So much still yet to be decided. So let's get into the first week. We'll come back in a week, have another short, and see how it does. Thanks so much for watching.